Hello and welcome to another video from Sandra at Sandra Stamp and Craft Studio. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a card created with one of the new bundles in the new Stampin' Up annual catalogue 2021 to 2022 that commences on the 4th of May. Let's get down to the craft table and let's get creating. So here are our 5 new in colours for the 2021 to 2023. And they are Polished Pink, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. Today we will be using the Polished Pink cardstock. To start with, I have a sheet of A4 basic black cardstock and I'm going to cut it lengthways in half at 10.5 centimetres. We'll then turn and score in half again at 14.85. Burnishing this with a bone folder to make an A6 card. I've placed a piece of grid paper from our Stamparatus, a 6-inch grid paper, underneath here just so that you can see against the black board that I work on. So first we're going to take a piece of the Polished Pink cardstock and cut it to 11.5 centimetres by 7.5 centimetres and adhere that down. Next I'm taking our Pattern Party Designer Series papers. Now these are in the Hostess section at the back of the catalogue and are a reward, one of the reduced rewards that you can allocate your free spending money from hosting a party with a qualifying order, or even during COVID, if you wish to collect orders totaling a minimum of £150. There is a promotion, Hostess promotion going on from the 4th of May to the 14th of June. So contact me about that if you're interested. Just get together with some crafty friends and collect your orders together and we can do a Hostess party. These do come in 12-inch pages. I've cut them down just for ease of handling here on the camera. So these are all the nice, pretty, colourful patterns. And when you turn them over, you get all the black and white versions. So today I will choose to use this paper. It's already been cut once, and so I'm going to trim this down, and I do like this paper on the back. It's hard to cover one up and glue one down. We're going to make this slightly smaller, and this is going to measure 11 centimetres by 7 centimetres and attach it to the centre of my card. When making cards like this with a matte layer, I usually gut that pink layer because it's only seen by the border. Okay, next we're going to go on the sentiment, and we're going to pop the sentiment in the centre of this card before we create the embellishments. So I have a piece of Whisper White card here. My stamp set today that we're using is the Flowers of Friendship, and I'm going to be using one of the sentiments off here, the flowers and the leaves, and it has a coordinating punch. I have a piece of the basic white cardstock and my Memento black ink pad, and I'm going to stamp little card big thanks in the centre of this end. Make sure it's nicely inked up. As they are rubber stamps, they don't need to have the Stamp and Pierce mat underneath. There we go. And again, I'll bring back my dual oval punch and punch the plain oval in the centre like so. Returning to my card, we're now going to attach this on foam pads. So there's the basis of my card, and I'm now going to put the embellishments around the side. To do that, I'm bringing back a strip of basic white card and my 2 flower embellishments from that stamp set and my Polished Pink ink pad to coordinate with my cardstock. I need 2 of each image for this card, and when you position these on your stamping, you have to be mindful of which way the puncher's face. So the leaves will be even harder, and this one needs to be like a cross, this one needs to be a cross diagonal. So I will stamp 2 images upright, well, to the side, slightly to the side. My card's a little bit smaller. So 2 of those, and I will punch those in between. So this one will go in just slightly to the angle like so. You'll notice it's not punching any of the next image. This is the reason it's tricky to get them lined up. So there's our 2 images we require for that one. And then on my other piece, we're going to stamp 2 of the smaller ones. So these will be stamped as a cross diagonal. So I have one there. I'm going to show you what I mean by doing one there and one this end. I finished with my ink pad. So with this one, when I place this in the bottom flower here to line up, you'll see that when I punch this one, I will be punching part of the image next door. You need to be mindful of that when you're actually stamping your images in the first place. So I'm going to punch that one out. I deliberately did that one as an example to show you, and then we'll use this one as the second one. And now we'll punch our leaves. We have a large leaf and a smaller leaf, and our Evening Evergreen ink pad on the soft succulent cardstock. So I'm going to stamp those images. Now I know how they appear in the punch, sorry. So these are on the angle. So these ones here are better going vertically. And then the little ones are better going slightly on a curve. So these ones, I already knew that this was the direction of the stamp. So I went vertically with the stamping. So that's going to be one leaf, and slide it down, and that will be my second leaf. And then bring this in from the side, and by putting that slightly at an angle, I'm not punching any of the next image underneath. And slide it along. If you have a long line, you will need to cut some of the waste off here to enable you to get down further. So I'm bringing over my Stampin' Pierce mat to transfer those images onto. So I tend to keep an empty one just for doing that. Make sure that the end is clear and massage that into the center. And then with my bone folder, I'm actually going to turn these ones slightly over. So I could have done this first and then press down in the center. So I'm just on the corner of my bone folder, just curling those edges over. Next, with the leaves, I'm just going to turn over those edges away from me, just to give them some dimension, just the top end, to give some shape. I'm going to place a small dimensional in the middle of the 2 larger flowers. And then place one of these on the top. I like them to go in a crisscross. And turn them over. Ooh, that's been used before. And pop a large dimensional in the center, ready to go on my card. Now I need to stamp one of the larger flowers in basic black in the center of the polished pink cardstock. But first I must clean my stamp. And this is the wet half. Just scrub that gently on there in both directions and then dry it on the other side. And that's ready to use again. So I'll stamp this in my Memento black ink pad again. When you haven't got a big enough piece to get hold of, then take a sticky side of a post-it note and stick a piece on there, and you can use your post-it note like a handle. So I'm going to place this in the centre here, line up my punch, punch out the image, and there is my piece of post-it note. I can remove that and I will stick that back on the pad to be able to use that one again. So this one again, I'm going to curl over those ends and then press down in the centre with the lid of my Tombow. Here is another of the smaller images I already had in my little pot. Now we're ready to bring back my card and assemble. So I'm going to remove the foam pad from the back of the coloured one first. I'm going to place the coloured one because this is on dimensionals. I can slot that underneath there so I can take off some of that edge. So I like to change the shape so it's not a solid oval. And then I will put one top and one bottom. For the leaves, they've been curled at the end. I'm going to add a tiny piece of Tombow to the bottom and tuck those in underneath my images here. So there's my nearly finished card. I'm just going to add some rhinestone gems to the centre of each of those flowers. I think I'm going to use I'll use the medium ones on here. And there we have my finished card. Here you will see a decorated envelope done in the same matching paper in the fresh freesia with a different one of the papers. Here is another. And here is another. It's nice to showcase the back of the designer series papers in some of the other patterns, and then this is the one that we've made today. If you've enjoyed my tutorial today, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the button below. And if you ring the bell too, you'll be notified of future videos as I release them. All my contact details will pop along at the end of the video and in the description below. Thanks again for joining me today, and I hope to see you here again soon. Bye for now.
It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family.